Cool. I missed the intro for the recording, but today we are talking about your vacation game plan, staying fit, feeling great, and still having fun. The overall goal that we always have within Project Fit Chick is yes, you guys all have goals and you have goals within your body, but we also are like have a life to live. And we need to be able to balance the both. A lot of you like your foodies, you love food, and I personally love trying new things. And I also want to stay on track with my fitness goals. So we want to make sure that we are bringing both of those together. So over the years, I've realized, and a lot of you have probably realized this as well, is your body becomes truly addicted to healthy and fit habits. There are foods that maybe you try months along the line that you're like, damn it, I don't like that anymore. One of the hardest ones for me was like I had this lo mein from like one of my favorite places, and I tried it and I realized like how oily it was. And I'm like, damn it. So one of the things that like, I really, really liked, but my body just doesn't accept it anymore because I've done these healthy habits and I really nourish myself with all the good things that as soon as I kind of stray away from that, I don't feel my best. Right. So once we start to stray away from that, we don't feel good. Right. And a lot of these healthy habits can look easy to some people, but the reality is the reason that I'll even use myself, the reason that it's easy for me is because I can't do otherwise. If I stray away from my habits, I genuinely don't feel good, right? So it's not about restriction, it's about listening to your body and training your body in a way that it's going to tell you all the time to make healthier decisions. Similar to when you're in a habit of going to the gym, you just keep going, keep going, keep going. The moment that you step away and you're not working out anymore, what do you miss? You miss going to the gym, right? Now, for me, just a little background, because again, when you're going through this and you're like, damn, that, maybe last trip or maybe next trip you don't do as perfect as you thought. I wasn't always like good at this. I had a lot of all or nothing mindsets where I would not eat before going away because I was trying to lose as much weight as possible. Or when I was away, I'm like, I'm away, I can just eat whatever and I want to eat everything in sight because I can never have these foods. So it was something that I truly had to learn how to balance, right? So again, little by little, you're just going to realize that these things get way, way easier. Now, why staying on track matters? Number one, your body adapts, and that what makes fitness so easy. Your body will crave everything that you give it. Your body will crave healthy food the more that you give it healthy food. That's why eating healthy is so easy for some people because it's hard for us to do otherwise. You probably notice this yourself as well. Two is fueling your best. If you ever stray away from your habits, especially if it's just like your first vacation or you're gone for like a week or two, you might feel sluggish, you might feel bloated, you might not feel great. So all of this is just to make sure that on vacation you're genuinely enjoying yourself and you're enjoying yourself by feeling your best. I don't know about you, but if I feel sluggish and bloated and heavy, I'm probably not going to be enjoying myself as much just because like I don't feel good and I want to make sure that I'm max energy. And then the last thing is body goals. So again, bringing in that line of like a lifestyle and enjoying ourselves and not being too strict, but also a lot of us do have goals. So even part of the reason that I do this myself is I have aesthetic goals that I am trying to work towards, right? And obviously there's nothing wrong with that. So this is going to be different for everyone. Everybody's body responds differently to food. I genuinely think that my dad is like unstoppable. Like you cannot put the man down. He can eat whatever he wants and he could probably play a soccer game the next day and be totally fine. I, on the other hand, cannot do that at all. My body is a lot more sensitive to greasy foods, to like super high carb days, I just don't feel my best, right? So we want to make sure that you're paying attention to what is your body asking for and keep pushing into the things that it's asking for. Number two is everybody has different goals. I relate this to, I go to obviously like a lot of fitness conferences and I have a lot of friends in the field. Some of them are ripped, six packs, love that leanness level for them. And when I go out to eat with them, our plates look really different because I'm able to have a lot more carbs because my level of leanness for my goals is different than theirs. And when I started to hang out with people that were like super, super shredded, I realized like, oh shit, you guys have to put in a lot of different habits and a lot of different efforts than I do. That's why I found my balance in my leanness. Getting super, super lean is not something that I genuinely enjoy because it takes away like simple pleasures of life, aka it takes away my carbs. And number two is, or last thing, everyone has a different phase. So me being in a maintenance phase, don't like, if you're in a deficit right now, don't pay attention to what I eat on my Instagram story because I'm not cutting. So if you're seeing like, damn, she had freaking pancakes and then she's having pasta and then she's having like more carbs at night and you feel like you can't have that many carbs, we're in completely different phases, right? So whether you're in a deficit, whether you're in a reverse phase, whether you're in a maintenance phase, understanding that and taking that as it is on vacation. And usually as your coaches, we will tell you like, hey, be flexible, or okay, while you're away, let's just make sure that you're putting in habits regardless if you're not tracking. So getting into certain habits, let's start with travel days. Number one is hydrate, 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 hydrate. I don't know the exact science, but being at the elevation and being in the planes and the way that they are built, you're more likely to get dehydrated on the plane. Do you ever feel like your mouth's like really, really dry when you go away, or your digestion gets messed up? My stomach will always get messed up on a plane, and that is normal, right? So we want to put in those extra steps. We think, oh, I'm traveling, let me just relax, let me just do the thing. If you just relax, if you just kind of do your thing, you're probably not going to feel as great. Your digestion is already getting hit by the elevation and you're not drinking your water. So that's like double the negative on your digestion. Number two, when you are traveling, bring food with you. I have realized after posting so much of my travel food on Instagram that a lot of people don't realize that you can bring food onto a plane. You can bring anything that is not liquid. I've only ever gotten my oats taken once, but I think it was because it was too like watery and it was like overnight oats. But I have never, I walked like this is literally a whole entire meal wrapped in a leaf. Like, don't say anything to me. It's not the first time, not the second time, not the last time. So you can bring things with you. If you want to bring something simple like protein powder, I've also done that. I'll bring like a muffin, like a protein muffin, and then I'll bring protein powder. You guys know when I do my protein pudding, and I just bring it dry. And then on the plane, I just put water in it, and then I just make it myself. So you can bring whatever you want, but bring food. The only thing that you might have issues with is like fruit. You can bring it onto the plane, but sometimes you can't bring it into the other country. So I've definitely got caught multiple times with my apples, and maybe one day I will learn, but that is one that does not cross borders. So do not carry apples with you. But again, hydration and be prepared in terms of food. My parents were like mind blown at the fact that we brought lunch, but we were traveling during lunch. So what would my parents have done? They would have tried to figure it out once we got there. And when we got there, there was nowhere that we knew to eat. And what happens when there's nowhere that you know? You just grab the quickest thing. You just grab something that's probably not as good for you. So make sure that you are planning ahead on travel days so that you're sticking to your meal structure. And again, you're doing what you can to optimize digestion. That's always my number one goal because I hate when my digestion and I get constipated and it's just not cute. Now, when it comes to meal structure, I follow these 4 habits for basically all my trips. Number one is my breakfast. I do the same thing for breakfast every single day when I travel, every single day. I have a protein. I have some type of fruit. I have realized that, and this was something I did out of trial and error, because I used to go for like the pancakes and the French toast and all the good stuff that they have. And I'm not going to say I don't go for that. I usually go for it on day one just so I can get over that craving. But I realized that when I get fruit in the morning, I'm more likely to make better decisions throughout the day, and my digestion is way better. Like if I prioritize fruit on vacation, my digestion is great. If I don't prioritize fruit, it's not so great. And then the last thing is that some type of complex carb. So usually on vacation, I'm doing eggs, I'm doing fruit. Sometimes they have oatmeal, but this place didn't have oatmeal, so I just did granola. It's a complex carb that isn't like very kind of like oiled up. Sometimes if there's like hash browns or if there's potatoes, those are good options. But again, I'm very sensitive to oil. My body does not like oily food. So if I have it in the morning, it throws everything off. So I'd like a very, very simple complex carb. Somebody on vacation actually, like one of my friends noticed this. He's like, you get the same breakfast every single day. Why? So I kind of broke it down for him. It's going to help you in terms of fiber, in terms of your digestion. This is going into my muscles and this is keeping me full. So if you're going to pick anything for breakfast, protein, complex carb, and some type of veggie. Number two, at one point in the day, I'm having some type of a lighter meal, whether that be for my lunch or whether that be for my dinner. And I try to make this nutrient dense. Maybe I'm getting salad, veggies with a lean protein. I'm an acai girl. I can have it every single day of my life. So when I travel, that's like the thing that helps me. Again, going back to fruit. Fruit is my thing on vacation. And then lastly is some type of like heavier meal. If I do a heavier meal for lunch and I do a heavier meal for dinner, I'm not going to feel great. So it all goes back to what am I doing to feel my best? Is it extra? Did my parents say, like, just get the pizza? It's fine. We're gonna go get empanadas. Like, do you want some? And I'm like, no, I actually found this place and I'm gonna go there. Are they like a little like annoyed that we have to make an extra block drive? Yeah, but doesn't matter. No, this is the way that's gonna make me feel good because you don't have to walk around in my body. So that's the way that I like to think about it. And then when it comes to snacks, I think you've kind of noticed a trend already. Fruit. Like fruit is going to optimize your digestion. Fruit is going to help keep you full and carry them with you because I don't know if you guys kind of run into this, but when I'm traveling, I never run into like healthy snacks anywhere. I know Colombia has a lot of street food and everything is fried. So I can't imagine traveling to Colombia and eating snacks. So I always usually buy fruit in advance and then just carry it around with me. But overall, the goal for all of this is fiber, 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 staying full through complex carbs. So having things like potatoes, having things like granola, like oatmeal, those things are going to help keep you full, right? Protein for your muscle mass, for your metabolism, for your digestion. So this is why I'm super extra with the way that I eat. But at the same time, it's just I don't really notice the difference. Now, what I mean by heavier meal versus lighter meal, I don't necessarily think about it in terms of like calories. I think about it as like, for me, it's how much oil it's cooked in. If something's cooked with a lot of oil, if this is the same calorie as this bowl is going to make me feel better than that. So that's what I mean by like a lighter meal. If I have any type of fried food at one point of the day, I can't have it another point of the day. It's just not going to make me feel good. Now, I used to eat and my dad used to take me to buy empanadas, like the fried Colombian one, before soccer games when I was little. So this is not something that I was like born with like these beautiful habits. This is something that I truly had to develop. So if you're somebody that you feel like you like fried foods or you like going for these things and you want to train your body to start to crave healthier things, just make those steps. Start swapping out more of the fried options with more whole food options. So this is what I would consider like heavier meals. And this is what I would consider like the lighter meals. So when I'm talking about meal structure, that's kind of what I mean by there. What is like a fresher kind of meal? Now, balancing your indulgences. If alcohol and desserts are at play, balance them. So if you're having dessert, maybe you're not having the pasta and potatoes and rice and like all the carbs on your plate. You're balancing a little bit so that you can have dessert. And you guys know I love desserts, so that's something that I definitely do at the beginning. And then same with alcohol. So if I am having alcohol right now, I haven't had alcohol in months, but if I'm having alcohol, I probably won't have that one heavier meal. I'm gonna have two lighter ones because I want to balance that out. Again, if not, I'm not gonna feel my best. But this is something that has taken a lot of trial and error for me. Next, hotel options. These are usually super limited. Certain hotels that you go to have good options, like the one that I showed you, and it was like buffet everything. And some of them just have eggs and like bread. In these cases, I will bring my own. So I try to do my best to find a hotel with like a mini fridge. This way I can go to like the market and I can put fruit in there and I can always have things on deck. In this case, when we stayed here, I just went to the store and I bought arugula because they provide us with eggs and all that, and I can just throw some veggies on it. Like it's a very, very, very simple hack that does not take a lot of effort. I just bought some arugula and I put it in the fridge, and I would bring it down to breakfast every time and just put it on there, right? Similar to the oats, I didn't really like the oats at the hotel that I got just because it was like very, very sugary oats. I'm like, I'm just gonna buy like whole grain oats, some with seeds, some that are gonna help my digestion, and I just have it in the morning. So little tiny things. If your breakfast, if your hotel has breakfast and it's not the best options, go get some things, pair it, and then those not great options can turn into really good options, right? Just about going out of your way. If you're staying Airbnb style, I won't say that I do this all the time, but I have. Home cooking, maybe one meal out of the day. So I've done this where breakfast at home is something that I will make. I do this a lot when I travel with a lot of friends. We kind of go to the grocery store, everybody get your own thing, you're all in charge of like your own breakfast before we head out for the day. So what do? I get oatmeal, I get eggs, and I get some fruit. I do it every single time, right? So if this is an option for you, this is great. Maybe you can be in control of your breakfast. I don't think I've ever actually cooked lunch or dinner at an Airbnb, but that's personally me. Obviously, everybody has their own different way of traveling, but using that. But overall, regardless of how you're kind of painting it, if you're going to an all-inclusive resort, if you're going to a hotel that gives you breakfast in the morning, if you're going to an Airbnb that you have to be in charge of all of your meals, it all comes down to the same thing. For breakfast, think, what is going to make me make better decisions throughout the day? What is going to make me feel good for the rest of the day? And I promise you, if you do a combination of these things, you're going to feel really good. And when it comes to lunch, you're going to make a better decisions. Two is, can you have one lighter meal throughout the day, right? It's easy to eat heavy when you're away, but you're not going to feel great if you eat heavy all the time. And then I love food. I'm going to try different foods. So obviously, if you have a meal that's heavier, just don't make it all three of them, because it goes back to, you're not going to feel your best. What is going to make me feel my best? That drives every single one of my decisions as a very, very foodie fit chick. Now, there are times that it does change a little bit and I get a little bit more flexible. There has been times where like maybe I'll have something light in the morning, like I'll grab an apple and then we'll do something, or like banana or whatever. And then I have a heavier breakfast slash lunch, and it kind of just turns into two heavier meals and one kind of like snack style option. When I went to Amsterdam, this was kind of like the dynamic that we had every single day, just because we didn't have options, or like we didn't have control of any of our meals. So they just turned into two heavier meals with like a lighter snack. Obviously, play it how it goes. So if you're having two heavier meals or two, I would say bigger meals for breakfast and another meal, maybe the other one is like a lighter snack style. But obviously this is not a perfect, like, oh my God, I have to eat 4 times a day. When you're traveling, it changes. You might eat twice, you might eat 3 times, you might have like that snack. Carry the fruit. Always, always, always. That is going to be your best friend. It's very portable, it is very filling, and it is very convenient. I am not so fun when I'm hungry, but if I have an apple in my bag, I'm a lot of fun. I am the girl that will go on trips with my friends, with my family, and I'm pulling out a bag of sliced peppers and carrots and celery and like all these things. And obviously, who's gonna say no to that? Because I know you guys are hungry too. So I'm always that one person that's always just gonna have things on hand. Now, lastly, when it comes to working out, movement is 100% a non-negotiable, even on vacation. And I won't say that I ever did one full hour workout, but I did do like 3 30-minute ones. I did one that was like broken up kind of like in two. So what I do is, if I'm traveling for the week, I at least want to get 3 full workouts in. Depending on my schedule, I had a wedding, so like it kind of threw a lot of things off, but can I get 3 full workouts in? One of them was a body weight workout where I did like bands. Another one was like a really hard run, and then another one was a mix of a run and some body weight movements, but making sure that you're doing some type of working out. Daily movement, incorporating walking, swimming, hiking, like take the stairs, don't take the elevator, take the long way, make sure that you're walking, walking, walking. That's usually super, super, super simple. Even when you're on the beach or wherever you are, maybe you're stretching, maybe you're doing something extra to get movement in. My favorite way to get workouts while I'm traveling is to put a timer on for the amount of time that I have, and then I just kind of will put workouts together. Not a lot of rhyme or reason. I would do squats, I do RDLs with a band, I do some push-ups. I pick like 4 or 5 things, I do them in a circuit, and then I keep going until the timer runs out. If I have a gym access, I'll go to the gym and do the same thing, but with weights. So I don't really complicate it too much how I'm doing my workouts, but obviously I've coached enough of you already to know that you're all so different in terms of how you like to work out on vacation. So choose whatever works for you. Bands, I always carry 2. Every single time I have this little one and I have this big one. Those are just my favorite things because I feel like it's an easy way to load and you can do so much with it. So that's always going to be my go-to. Now, how to make this easy? Because almost done with this. Staying on track does not have to be hard. It's about planning and listening to your body and training your body to want healthy habits. Have we already, especially if you've been in the program for like several months, have you realized that your body genuinely wants healthy habits? Have you realized that sometimes it's a little bit annoying when you can't have the foods that you had before, but it's in a good way, right? So planning ahead, I never really research restaurants or grocery stores. Like if I can, when I'm in work trips, I try to book next to like a Whole Foods just so it's easier. Um, when I get there, I just type in healthy restaurants near me and then I go to those stores. Staying flexible as well. I don't want you to overthink this. When I first started my fitness journey, I 100% overthink it. And if you feel like when you're going on vacation next time, you're overthinking certain things, that's fine. You are changing your habits. It took me a long time to get this very, very, very simple method for me to come back and like feel okay and not feel like, damn, like I gained like 10 pounds over vacation. And ignore any type of the outside noises. We all have different lives, but there are going to be people on vacation that are like, just enjoy yourself. My parents used to tell me all the time, like, oh, you're so annoying. Just eat this. Like, why do we have to go to a different place? Just ignore it. All right. They'll get over it. My parents don't really, they do sometimes say things, but now they've kind of gotten over it a little bit. And keep away from diet culture talk. So, oh my God, I need to detox after this trip, or I've gained 8 pounds, or like oh my God, I ate so much, I'm gonna get fat. Like there is a lot of diet culture talk that might happen in our outside surroundings. I was very happy. My mom is like, I love her, but sometimes she has like a lot of diet culture talk. I was very happy that I realized that certain things that she said, they just kind of went in one ear and out the other. Usually they would trigger me. So these are things as well that will get better over time, but just try to shut out the noise. And if people are saying things like, oh my God, you're so extra. Yeah, I am extremely extra. And when we get back on track, just get back on track. One, if you feel like you came back and maybe you didn't do so well, where could you have done better? Those are questions that I always ask myself when I traveled or when I went to social events. What could I have done better? And then next time, do that. Number two, hit a hard reset. When you get back, I don't expect you the very next day to start tracking your calories again and go to the gym and like be perfect. I always personally do like a planning day or like a full rest day and just continue moving forward without guilt. But obviously, getting back on track is a conversation that we can have together to really get into what are the things that you did great and what are the things that you need to do better next time. And we start getting better and better and better and better, trip after trip after trip after trip. That is pretty much it. The last thing that I will say with this is if you have a trip, especially like if you're in a calorie deficit, if you're tracking, I won't ever expect you to track. So if this is a diet break for you, if this is a tracking break for you, I usually will tell you. When I first hired a coach and I went away, she was like, oh, track if you can. And I went to an all-inclusive resort. I remember the very first day, like we went to a buffet and I was looking at my meal and I was trying to put it into an app and I was like, fuck this, like this, there's no way I'm putting this into an app. Like that's absolutely crazy. So I messaged her and I'm like, hey, I'm not doing that. I will keep all the habits, but I'm not going to track. That's why I never expect any of you to track. Some of you do, and I think it's really impressive, right? If you want to, go ahead. If you want to track half of your day, go ahead. If you don't want to track at all, that's fine, right? So understand like what your body needs in that moment. And also I should have added in here, trust yourself. If you trust yourself to make the best decisions with the situation that you are presented with, you are going to come out on top. But always trust yourself. Trust yourself that when you go to the restaurant, you're going to pick the option that you're going to feel best with, not necessarily just like the mac and cheese that just looks really, really good, right? But we're not going to feel great after. And that is pretty much it for this. Remember that food is love and strength is power. And here's a live photo of me on the beach. Do we have any questions?
Question. What is the best way you have found to transport protein powder?
I just bring it in a bag or like a
I
Tupperware.
find it gets everywhere. Like when I try to close it, it like like billows out like there's like a big little
Oh,
cloud. I guess like maybe that's just reality, and I have to deal
I actually tape it.
with
Yeah,
it. Oh,
forgot that I do that. I actually started that with my creatine because I'm like, I'm not losing any creatine on this trip. So I put it in a Tupperware and then I tape it. I put like enough that I'll use on the trip, just so I can finish it and just kind of get rid of it, but I tape it.
oh, oh, I like that. Like something disposable that I can just like even throw away at the end of the trip. I don't even have to bring it back. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, like my creatine, if I don't really travel with my creatine anymore, I used to. If I'm going for a long trip, I will. Like I will kind of measure out the days so that I don't
Yeah.
need to bring any excess back. And I can just like it'll be like a little bit left and I just kind of toss it. Yeah, got you. You can also do that. Uh, I was gonna say you can do it in like your protein bottle shaker, but if you're gonna use it after, it might just be full. You would have to put it somewhere else. So I don't know if that would work.
Yeah. I do get protein powder with caffeine. It's a company called Shike, Shike. They always send me individual ones, but like I also don't want to be having caffeine at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
So I'm always trying to find like, and I also don't want to use as many single use things if I can avoid it. But I'm thinking on vacation I
Yeah,
may
it's been
try.
like I'm a very environmental kind of person. I don't like to really throw anything out, but I put a lot of effort into being environmental. Like that's kind of the point where I'm like, okay, it's like my one time that I took Tupperware. I also like to reuse things. So usually that Tupperware that I'm gonna throw out was like I got it from like a restaurant and they would have thrown it out anyways. So like I tried to do my best,
Yeah.
but I totally feel you on that. Got you. Any other questions? Questions, comments, concerns? Or anything that you would like to share about something that has worked for you or something that you have learned throughout your vacation life that would be helpful for somebody else? And the last thing, do we have any questions other than anything that we've spoken about today? It can be super random, something that came up in workouts, something that came up with your nutrition, literally anything. I'll just kind of open up the floor for you. I figured this one was gonna be like a pretty um, simple lesson, but I think it was super important.
Another question. I was just gonna message you, so this is saving me a message. I feel like I should know this because I've been doing this a while, but bench press, flat bench versus incline, what which one should be heavier or like on average? Should I be able to bench press more flat than incline?
Yes. Yeah, so incline, the way that I like to think of it is like flat bench is chest. The more that you are standing up, it turns into like an overhead press. So because you're inclined, it's chest and shoulders. It's kind of in between an overhead press and a flat
Mm,
bench, so it uses more shoulders. Um, for 99% of my fitness journey, my flat bench has always been more than my incline. And out of nowhere this year, they were like neck and neck. I don't know how it happened, but usually your incline will be less than your bench because you're using your shoulders and it's a smaller muscle. Got you. That's a good question. Also, there's nothing that you ever feel like you should know. Like, ask the question. Trust me, ask the questions. Anything else from anybody before I let you go? Carly, you have questions today? I didn't hear your voice. I'm kind of upset.
I mean, I don't have questions, but when it comes to nutrition right now, I'm sort of discovering or reminding myself of the things I really don't like. So I've been digging into a lot of high protein meals, of course. Everyone uses cottage cheese, and growing up, I've never liked cottage cheese. And I'm always like, okay, it's a recipe where it's like blended, and I can definitely mix it into whatever I'm making. It should be able to hide it, but I just hate cottage cheese. I just like I found a couple of recipes where it does blend in pretty well, but cooking with it, like that
Yeah.
smell of the cottage cheese just really gets to me, and I'm just like I'm over here thinking I'm like it's for the gains, it's for the gains as I'm mixing it, but I'm just struggling to cook with it. Although eventually eating it, like it's fine. Like I don't even realize it's there. But that's just a little status update on how my nutrition is going. I'm fighting for my life out here with cottage cheese.
What if you use Greek yogurt?
It,
Does that work the same?
I don't know. I just follow the recipes I find on Instagram. Okay.
Valid. No, I love the discovery phase. I love that. I feel like you're in like a cooking era, and I love it for you. I hopefully I just made sushi yesterday, so I could be in my cooking
I saw
era.
that. Congrats. Congrats.
Thanks. I put like the whole entire fucking thing of rice into one roll. Maria's like, you don't need that much rice. I'm like, oh.
It's a learning phase for sure. It's
Yeah.
just
Yes.
ay ay ay.
The honey will help the taste for cottage cheese. Oh, I've had it so with mango, but that's like pure cottage cheese though.
Right.
That's I do cottage cheese with sliced banana and cinnamon, and that's my favorite. But if you don't like cottage cheese, like don't try.
No. So the recipes that I've found them in, the one that is actually hitting up for me right now, it's a pasta dish. So it's protein pasta, and you get tomato paste and you blend it with cottage cheese and a little bit of pasta water, and it makes a tomato sauce. So essentially you're swapping out your standard tomato pasta sauce for a really high protein tomato pasta sauce. And it ends up coming out fine. It's not as creamy as I would have expected it to be. I think that's the me part though, because the recipe video it comes out pretty creamy. But at that point, there's no cottage cheese smell or
Yeah,
texture. So it's working out pretty well. I don't know how you guys eat that thing straight up. I applaud you. It's just not for my senses.
yeah. Sorry, it's a texture thing too. Hillary, did you have anything else?
Yeah, I hate cottage cheese also by itself. It gives me the ick. It's like also squeaky in a weird way, but the only way I will eat it is I'll put it in with scrambled eggs.
Oh yes.
And you can't really okay, okay. It's not for everyone, but I get it. I feel you. It's,
I've had it with scrambled eggs, and I think it's so good.
I love it. I
Yeah,
actually like it better than just the eggs plain.
yeah.
Yeah, not for everyone, not for Charlie.
Not Carla. I
No,
love that.
and I react that way because I love eggs. I mean, I was that little girl that could eat like 3 to 4 eggs like every day for breakfast. So when you mention my favorite food with my current least favorite thing, I'm having a physical reaction. It's not happening.
Yeah, we'll see. Keep us posted on your cottage cheese adventures or just your protein adventures. Alrighty, I'll let you guys go. Have
Wait,
a
wait, 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 before you guys go.
talk
If
to
you're
us.
not a cottage cheese person, I would recommend trying tofu, silken tofu.
That Maria put me on. I
You could
have
blend it up and yeah, you could do everything with silken tofu. And it doesn't have that much protein as cottage cheese, but there's protein in it.
Yeah, it's a different flavor. I had to get like into it at first, and I've definitely failed making the silken tofu with certain things, but when you get it, you get it. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a good one. Thanks, Maria. Alrighty. Love you guys. We'll see you on next week's call and on this week's check-in. Bye.